Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, YouTube. Today is Think on These Things Thursday, and you're with Ebony with Real Talk Therapy. So today's shirt says that, and I'm in a car, so not as kind of spaced out as I would like to be, or like I was yesterday. But today's session, and the title of today's session is what happens when there's no more room under the rug. And I told you guys that I'm old at heart. Love being around the older generation, especially my grandmothers. And my grandma Maddie has said something to me. I can't even remember how long ago now. But what she said to me was, when we're dealing with things and there's no more room under the rug, you have to start pulling things out so that you can begin to walk comfortably again. And we all know that there's a cliche that says, we sweep things under the rug. And when you're dealing with your mental and your emotional health, sometimes in order to just cope and deal, you'll go ahead and sweep it under the rug because you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to be bothered by it. You don't want to keep trying to figure it out. Just put it under the rug, and your intentions are to come back to it. But how often do you come back to it? And anytime we sweep something under the rug and we got to continue to travel back and forth across that rug, that walk can be uncomfortable when you're stepping on things. And rugs are designed to do what? They're decor to lay flat. So really and truly, if you think about that cliche, nothing should ever be swept under the rug. But we deal with life, and if we're honest and if we're having some real talk here, all of us, especially adults, have swept something under the rug, and a lot of times we leave it there. We don't want to deal with it, and then there are some times that you may even forget that you swept it under the rug. But today I want to challenge you and encourage you to start going under your rugs and pulling those issues out, but do it one by one, so you're not overwhelmed. Pull one issue out and let's start learning to deal with it. Let's start learning ways to cope with it, and then put that issue or that challenge back in its rightful place so that portion of your rug can begin to lay flat again. You always want to make sure that you deal with things, because all of those things that we don't deal with can affect us, not only mentally and emotionally, but they can begin to affect us health-wise. So a lot of our health issues stem from us not taking care of ourselves mentally. And there are some health issues that are inherited, or people say they're hereditary or what have you. But there always are things that we can avoid, things that we can do, right? They tell us we can eat right. Well, if you're a Christian and you believe in the Holy Bible, and no matter what your denomination says, the Holy Bible says the same thing every time you read it. And Genesis 1:29 tells us, or gives you the original diet, which is the fruit and herbs of the earth. But somewhere along the line in the Bible, we know that people wanted meat. You didn't want the fruits and the herbs. You wanted those things that gave you high blood pressure, high cholesterol, made us gain weight. We wanted meat. And so now we divvy from the original diet, and we got all these issues, and now you're sitting around wondering what's wrong, but it's because you didn't follow the original diet, if that's your belief. Now, if that's not your belief, I use that analogy and you can pretty much understand what I'm trying to say. In that, when there are instructions, there's rules, and anything that we do, we know that if we get out here and drive a car without a driver's license, and by the way, I'm a certified alcohol and drug counselor in the state of North Carolina. So if you have a DWI or a DUI in the state of North Carolina and you need some assistance with that, please hit subscribe, put it in the comments, and I'll be glad to help you. But in where I'm going with this is, if we get out here and drive without a license, we know that in the state of North Carolina, that's a rule that we are not to break. So if you get pulled over, 9 times out of 10, you get upset about a rule that you broke. There are instructions and rules that govern us in all walks of life. If you have children, you have rules in your home. If you work on a job, they have rules, regulations, policies, procedures that you have to follow. Then there's just common law courtesy rules. So if we go into a bank or a grocery store or something like that, and we could be in a hurry, the rule of thumb is you have to learn to wait your turn. But like most human beings, we become impatient and we get in there and we want to break the rules, break the line. And then if someone calls you on it, you want to be upset because you chose to break the rules. When we break the rules, there's consequences. And so when we don't deal with those issues that we sweep up under the rug, there's consequences to leaving that stuff untouched. And the biggest one is that life, your walk, your journey becomes uncomfortable because you're walking on top of all of these issues. You're stepping on top of all of this stuff that you refuse to deal with. Now your feet hurt. Now you don't want to walk. Now you want to get somewhere to sit down. Now you want to complain. Now you want to stay stuck. But if you would have just dealt with it and or went back up under that rug and pulled it out, chances are that walk will become easier. Nothing worth having comes easy. Everything has work with it. And again, if you're a Christian, the Holy Bible tells you that faith without works is dead. And I know it's a lot of different preachers and teachers and reverends and Sunday school teachers and Sabbath school teachers and Bible scholars that have their interpretation of that verse, but it means just what it says. Faith without works is dead. How do you believe in God, but you don't believe God? If you believe in something, you have to believe the worth of what you believe in. So if you believe in having a better life, you have to believe in the work that it takes to have a better life. And if you believe in there are consequences to your actions, you have to believe that you're able to withstand whatever those consequences are. You're able to do whatever it takes, the work that it takes to get past that, and let the past truly be the past. A lot of us like to revisit the past over and over and over. And a lot of times we're looking for justifications for why things didn't turn out the way we wanted them to turn out. Well, here's the fun fact for you. 9 times out of 10, it didn't turn out that way because you didn't put in the work for it to turn out that way. When things get hard, what do we want to do? We want to quit. When times get tough, what do we want to do? We want to complain instead of pushing through, instead of working through, instead of seeing things through. And so when we think on these things on this Thursday, what are some things that you know you need to deal with that you just haven't dealt with? And the first thing you have to do is search yourself. It's easy to blame. It's easy to place blame. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. It's everybody else's fault. Accountability feels like an attack when you don't accept that, or when you don't hold yourself accountable. When people come to you to do what was expected of you, or to ask you why you didn't do what was expected of you, immediately you get offensive. I want to encourage you to stop, take a breath, listen to that individual, because a lot of times what we think people are saying to us is not what they're even saying. And there are times where we don't understand one another because we could be saying the same thing, but saying it in different ways. And that's what should happen, because as individuals, we're different. No two people are alike. Even identical twins are different people. The only thing that they share are their features. And sometimes with identical twins, you can find a feature that one twin has that the other one doesn't. But we were all created uniquely and different. We were all given a stamp that makes us who we are now. My confident side of me. And people used to look at it at me being cocky. Never was cocky, always confident in what I know, who I am, and where I'm going. But that confident side of me will tell you all day long, when the good Lord created this one here, that mold was broken and it was utterly destroyed, because there is only one Ebony Latoya Williams Campbell. That's it. I can't be replicated. I can't be duplicated. That's it. But I am willing, and I always will, share what I know. And I tell people all the time, I can teach you, but I can't do it for you. And once I give you the tools to do that work, it's up to you to figure out how to use them. And as individuals, we don't need to sit around and try to compare ourselves to other people. You shouldn't do that. You're never going to be like someone else. So again, I want to encourage you to start looking at yourself, start feeling good about who you are, where you are in life, and what you have going on right now, today. Because yesterday is gone. You can't do nothing about it. You can't go back to it. And when we talk about it, it don't do nothing but ruin today. So a lot of times your perspective and how you carry yourself is how your day will carry you. If you wake up already decided that you pissed off, you mad, you ain't want to deal with nobody, and you in this negative space, then that's where you're going to stay. And I promise you, if you come around me, I'm going to let you stay there. I ain't got time. And I'll tell you that. Look, Debbie Downer, Missy Marvin, whoever you want to be today, I don't want to be a part of that. But I hope things work out for you. We have to be careful with what we consume from people. And when they start entering into your space and messing with your mental, it's okay for you to say, nah, hold on. I don't want to have this conversation with you. I'm having a pretty good day. So maybe if you go sit down and write down why you feel like this, you can come to a different conclusion and we can come back. Because energy is transferable, whether you believe it or not. If somebody is always negative around you, you know that little boy on, but he's not a little boy, I can't remember. I think it was the Flintstones, and he walked around with the thunderstorm cloud all around him. I don't remember which cartoon it was, but if it was the Flintstones, he always had a thunderstorm. Or Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore was always sad. Why was Eeyore always sad? Eeyore had some good friends, some good times. He had some good spaces, but Eeyore was always sad. Eeyore, go that way. Don't nobody want to always be sad. Nobody wants to always be mad. And you are that way because you choose to be that way. You better find something that helps you and helps to put a smile on your face. Your happiness is yours. It's your responsibility. And the only way you can lose it is if you give it away. I no longer want to give away my happiness. I no longer want to give away how I feel good about myself. I no longer want to succumb to what anybody else thinks or feels about me. And you shouldn't either. You are unique. So unique. And just the thought that you're unique in your own way should be something that gets you up in the morning, gets you going, gets you ready, gets you because you're going to encounter all that stuff when you leave your house. So another thing now, this came from Grandma Sue. Grandma Sue told me, if you can't be patient, then never leave your house, because the only place you can have your way is inside your own house. And then guess what? If you're married, got children, got a roommate, got whatever, you may not have your own way in your own house. But when you come out of that door, you got to be patient with the car that's in front of you. You got to be patient with the person in the store that's getting lottery tickets before they pay for their stuff that you got behind. You got to be patient with those folks on your job that get on your everlasting nerve. You got to be patient with everything around you, because once you leave your space, you've entered into everybody's space. So now it's time to share. And if you didn't learn that lesson as a child, it's hard to learn it as an adult. We share even the air we breathe. We share the space. We share the grocery store. It's not mine. I can't go in there and get what I want and leave out when I want to, or do whatever I want to do inside of Food Lion. I share that space with the employees and you if you in there getting your grocery. So, the lessons that we learn as children, they are so monumental because they bring you back to where you need to be when you become an adult. And in those lessons, it's so primitive as we're growing up that we start learning those lessons from, birth to toddler to adolescent to, early teen, late teen, early adulthood, middle adulthood, late adulthood. It's the same lesson. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything repeats itself. And so we really have to be able to think on these things on this Thursday to be able to pull back from anything negative, pull back from any negative experience and say, I made it. I made it through the day. I made it to my 46th birthday. I made it through the week. I made it. And that is a huge accomplishment. There's always something in our lives to celebrate. But if we sit and complain and whine and moan and always look for the bad, because, that's what's going to always happen, first of all. You've already manifested that you're not going to have a good day or you're not going to be in a good space because it's in your mind. So you are geared towards ruining your day. So again, take back control of your day. Take control of your thoughts. Take control of what makes you who you are. Take control of your life. It's yours. It's not anybody else's. It's yours. Take control of that. You can control who and what you want around you. But I'm telling you, once you start making these decisions for yourself, people are going to feel some kind of way because they don't have the access to you that they used to have. They don't have the ability to have you do whatever it was that they didn't want to do and deal with for themselves. And you'll see a change in some folks. But guess what? That's okay too. Because those people that really love you, they're not going nowhere. There's two categories of people in your life. You're going to have some fans and you're going to have some cheerleaders. Now watch where I'm going with this. A fan is going to forever be on those sidelines as long as you are performing to their level of what's satisfactory or acceptable. A fan is always going to run in behind you as long as you're winning and they're reaping whatever benefit they seem to reap from you winning. But as soon as you fail, as soon as that fan is not benefited by what you are doing, they find somebody else to cheer on. But a cheerleader is designed to be in your corner whether you win or lose. I've been to sports events, especially when the boys played when they were younger. And I've watched cheerleaders cry with the team when they lose. They were still cohesive and stood by each other. A cheerleader is going to stand by your side, whether you're able to perform, give to them, do for them, or whatever. A cheerleader is not going to leave you. So look for the cheerleaders in your life and look to be a cheerleader in somebody's life. We want things that we aren't willing to give. We want to preach things that we aren't willing to practice. Hey, so when we get into these cliches, I'm going to tell you, I break them down all day long. I listen to that stuff and I try to decipher what my elders were trying to tell me. And when I look for clarity for what it means to me, these are the things that I get out of it. So I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Do these things for yourself. Study to show yourself approved. And don't always take somebody's word for something. Nobody's perfect. Nobody. No human being is perfect. Please always remember that. And don't try to be perfect. You can perfect some things, but you will always have something that you fall short at. And that's okay. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not have the answers. You don't have to always try to impress people and try to look good, because believe it or not, those people that matter aren't impressed by that. What they are impressed by is your realness. When you can really come to the table and say, look, I can't do this no more. I can't deal with this. I'm having a hard time. I need some help. That's what impresses people, when you're real. And when you're not, I'm telling you, you'll stay on this little boat, and that little boat will topple and tibble, and you're doing your best to try to stay afloat. And then people are looking at you like, no, what's wrong with her? She knows she needs some help. When's she going to ask for it? Or when he going to ask for it? And everybody talks. Let's just get that out the way. Don't be running around here, oh, they talking about me. Oh, they doing this to me. Oh, this one said that about me. Because guess what? You done talked about somebody. You done did something to somebody. So, chalk it up. Change your perception. Change your attitude. Change how you respond to stuff. And watch you get a different result. Again, in thinking on these things, and I feel like I just unpacked a whole suitcase today, but I want to come back in as I'm tying it up and wrapping it into that rug. So in your life, what happens when you don't have any more room under your rug? What happens when you can't sweep anything else that you're going through under that rug? Think about what happens to you. For a lot of people, depression sets in and they aren't able to talk about it. They find themselves staying isolated in the bed. They're sick. They don't know what's going on with them. For some people, they lose it. They have a reaction or a breakdown and they snap on everybody because we're all different. But to avoid not being able to keep sweeping things under the rug and put stuff in their rightful place and to walk comfortably through your journey, deal with that hard stuff right then and there. I'm telling you, my testimony is beyond anybody's wildest dreams. And what people think they know is so far from what I know. So I had to learn to let them think what they want to think, say what they want to say, because whether they knew my truth or not, their perception of me is just that, their perception. It has nothing at all to do with me. And it will no longer be a stumbling block for me. And I don't want it to be one for you. So let's start pulling that stuff from under the rug so we don't have to hit that breaking point or hit that brick wall with no help, no encouragement, nobody to help us get up. You know, because have you been the one that's always reaching out the helping hand, and when you need one, you look up and there's no hand reaching out to you? That is a very, very hurtful place to be in. So, you know, I do believe in karma. I do believe in do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. And I also do believe in being the underdog. Everybody loses, but don't be afraid to try. When it comes to physical fights, people who really know me will tell you, I ain't scared to fight nobody. And you know why I'm not scared? Because I don't care if I win or lose. If you care about winning or losing, then you have a fear that's stuck inside of you. And you can't be afraid to lose because you weren't designed to always win. We can't always have what we want. We should always do what we need to do to have those things that we need. So again, thank you for joining me on this Thursday. I want to ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join me on this new venture. And hopefully one day I can provide something for you that'll help you just like so many people in my life. And as I continue with this channel, I will begin to share parts of my story and my testimony and those people who helped me to get here. I had a friend who asked me about yesterday's video and they were like, did you edit it? Edit it for what? I don't want to edit. I just want to be real and talk and tell anybody who may need something what has helped me. That's my reason for becoming a therapist, to help people navigate through uncharted waters in their way. Because we all need somebody. Trust you me, professionals need professionals too. And any professionals that are watching this, if you don't have a professional or someone that you can talk to, you know that you were taught about self-care. You don't need to pack all that stuff in, and you don't have to go through anything alone. But we're going to be talking in later series about dependency and what that looks like, and how to make sure we have a healthy dependency on others and you know, things or what have you. We'll get into that. But just for today, think on these things on this Thursday. Continue to be blessed. Do what makes you happy. And if you don't know what that is, go figure it out. Until then, I will see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.